Hey, Crown Content Publications followers, viewers, and supporters. Thank you for tuning in to another segment with the Crown Content Publication Services family, where marketing and publishing services do meet. If you're interested in learning more about our services to assist authors and freelancers, because we know authoring and writing books is a business, but we offer business consultations for freelancers who may need help with marketing, material, tools, bookkeeping, and things like this. Learn more about our services at www.contentcrownpublications.com, and you'll find not only a list of things we may be able to assist you with on the publication services side and on the bookkeeping side, but you'll also see the toolbar, not the toolbar, but it's kind of like a box that says get a consultation. Every first consultation is free, but it's a box that says book a consultation, and that will lead you directly to the app that I use for you guys to be able to schedule your 101 first free 60-minute consultations. And what these consultations look like is us discussing your needs and how Crown Content Publications may or may not be a good fit. Simple. And that's why they're free. And in that 60 minutes, you can ask as many questions as you like and things like that, okay? It's been a busy day, guys. I told y'all I was coming back with another segment. We just recorded the business document healthy habits segment, but now, if you saw the title of this segment, it is called Why I Chose to Remain a Business Student During the Pandemic. And I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about this, okay? Notice right on the segment before this, I probably looked more drained and it's just crazy what food does for us. I had to eat some dinner. It is evening time here where I am in the mountains, but I gotta stop that. I have nights where dinner is late for me. I definitely keep a schedule for the babies, but I might skip meals just to try to get done not just these videos or my podcast, but literally work on a book or work on some coursework for school, which is about to tie into this segment. And this is not just about putting my stories in business out there for anybody wondering. This is because some of you guys probably felt the same way. Now, of course, if you were in school for nursing or any healthcare field, you might not have felt what I felt like. Am I in the right? You had the indications that you were, that there were more need for nurses, doctors, delivery care nurses for the labor and delivery, and surgeons. You saw that when the pandemic actually came. You knew that, there was nothing wrong with staying in the not just the career field of your choice that you were going to school for, but you saw that it was very much in demand. So something like that, or maybe you were in the police academy when the pandemic started, or maybe, to me, I'm naming professions that there was no question that your services were needed. If you were taking training, certifications, licensing classes, or in college specifically for a certain career path. So the reason I titled this, Why I Chose to Stay in Business, how I ended up staying, really the word I used was remaining in business during the pandemic, and my story with that. So far y'all heard the how I overcame homeless during the pandemic story. You've heard my last segment about the importance of healthy habits and keeping up with your business documents. And now we're on why I chose to remain a business student during the pandemic. Maybe you guys don't understand yet, but what I'm trying to explain is that, as a college student in general, you do have the option to switch majors, but I don't think y'all fully understand what comes with the transition of even doing that. You're talking about redoing financial aid papers, redoing school papers, right? On the school part, it might not be so hard. It's as simple as transferring already obtained credits into the degree plan of the new major that you have chose to enroll in. But on that financial aid part, these days it's just not a time to be it is. It's a time for you to think about what you really want to do, but you want to make sure you really want to do that, because you don't want to be going through the hassle of constantly, you know what I mean, changing your major and messing with your financial aid and all that. Because another thing y'all might not know is we're all kind of pending what the Biden administration is going to do actually this year. Today's date marks April 7, 2022. But, you know, kind of like how we were sitting around waiting for whether or not a stimulus would be released when number 2 and number 3 were coming. It's kind of like that for us college students out here, or people who are alumni now and still have student loans that they owe. So I forgot the name of the plan, the draft plan they've come up with, but what it would do is practically alleviate or lower student loans for students. So I'm a big advocate of that one. I'm not here to decide or make my predictions or opinions on who was the best president, who wasn't. But when it comes to this, it's a no-brainer almost, right? You got people out here still trying to pay off student loans and keep up with the effects of inflation and economical changes. And they're already graduated, maybe 5-10 years ago, right? They still owe student loans. So that part, right? It's like a no-brainer to a lot of people that this should go into effect anyway, you know. And in some states, y'all go do the research. Some states, you know, governors have went ahead and decided to go ahead and make college tuition free. These are the type of options that did kind of persuade me whether I should stay in the study of business that I was already in before a pandemic, especially if you're studying for a bachelor's degree and stuff like this. We know we talking 4 years of school. I do have experience also, guys. I don't know much about a lot of the other business schools out here. I do know they exist, and the business programs when it comes to people who are serious of upping their knowledge about the world of business. But I just want to bring this up once again, not to put my business out there, but it was a great experience. Even though I did not stay with the Strayer family, go Strayer, okay? I didn't stay with the Strayer family, but that's not even where I started. But it is a school I thought I would finish with when it came to my business degree. And Strayer does have the Jack Welch. They're notorious for the Jack Welch business program that helps business students in many ways, even after graduation, when it comes to employment and positions that they may qualify for. So let's start the segment with this, y'all. Like, the options and things like that, the category of options that were available to me, it's not that they changed. It's just that, you know, when the pandemic happened, or when it came about and I was in school for business, it took like a year going by to where I was like, is this for me? Because, you know, you got people shifting to cryptocurrency. You got, like, it was so many economical changes going on. Businesses were literally being closed down before my eyes, or shut down, or ran out of business because they simply couldn't keep up their businesses through the effects of a pandemic, you know. Even with all the resources out here, SBA grants and all this, everybody didn't get approved for this stuff. SBA loans, bank loans, it was probably easier for some people to prove that they needed it for their businesses, but for some it wasn't, okay? And that's where you did see a lot of businesses have to shut down. Let's say you even get the money to keep your business running, you get the funding, you get the help, but if you don't have customers coming in because they choose to stay at home, they choose to now shop online or whatever it is, or do their consultations online, that doesn't really help you. You can have that business open, but, you know, it's like, are people coming in to eat? Are people coming in to shop? Are people coming in for business as they were? So just kind of clarifying that part. You got to know, even outside of school and what we were studying, this was, to me, you know how they say, look at the glass half full instead of half empty. To me, it was one of those experiences in my life where I had to say I can either switch majors because I just don't see how me studying business in the world today is going to do anything for my life, or I could stay in the degree plan, stick to that and expect for there to still be a place for me in the business world, in managerial positions and things like this. So yes, many of you guys out there have gained managerial experience without degrees and stuff like that. I guess because my goals were a little different. Like, clearly I could have applied at retail stores and stuff like this, which I do have a lot of experience in retail in my early days of working. When it comes to sales in general, from cable companies to electricity companies, just selling either services or items, making commission off of this stuff. Sometimes there was a base pay, and it was something I always loved to do. Like, I love kind of like that natural connection with people I don't know and convincing them that these glasses frames are right for them, or these earrings, or just helping them shop, find stuff in the stores. That was always me. And I was always, I don't want to toot my horn too much, but I was always pretty much one of the more likable employees on my teams that I worked with different companies. So I think they saw it too. A lot of my ex-managers, like, this young lady is really good with people, right? Now, when I first enrolled in college, it was actually, guys, for substance abuse counseling. That's what I wanted to do. I know y'all think that's interesting because, alcohol sales, drugs, cannabis is legal. It's just crazy. But that's not the route I took. But I still do have a heart for, especially with my story, with my experiences with homelessness and stuff like this, I still will always have a special place in my heart. I'm never going to be what they would call a judgmental person when it comes to people who battle addictions and things like this, because they do become coping mechanisms to people. I'm not encouraging it. I'm just saying I never saw how the approach of judging them helps somebody come out of that place, okay? So I switched from substance abuse programs for becoming a counselor in those areas to business. It's crazy, right? Business administration and accounting. And to be honest with you guys, like I said, it wasn't a pandemic going on when I first, switched my degree courses of plans like that. So at that time, I just knew I liked working with people. I had no idea I would had entrepreneur written all over me or written inside of me, or I had no idea. So with everything comes a process, and then everybody's story happened different. What I did is I ended up just kind of starting a business because I had a passion. I had a real passion to help authors with their books because of what I had went through on my journey with big publishing houses and stuff like this. Just I had learned a lot in such a short period of time, and the only way we learn is with experience, okay? So that's in or out of college. But like I'm just saying, I was the type of student outside of my business coursework that I did in school. I was out here talking to people, talking to publishing houses, trying to get books launched off. Like some of my professors to this day, they ever find my channel, they're gonna be like, "That's it. That's Tetta Sherry." Number one, she's an author. Like, that's how much I just did what I wanted to do because I loved it. I never, put it out there trying to get my professors to, give me cookies and cootie points just because, I was doing something else outside of school. And sometimes, having to keep a job. So even jobs, companies, every company I work for, I always cherish, because I do feel, I said this on another segment, we should never leave a job. To me, if it's not an employee that you gained like some type of acquaintance with and kept connection with, it should always be, something you learned and took off of that job to help you in your future. And that's kind of what I did. I'm not saying that's going to work for everybody. But for some reason in business, it might sound weird, but I always studied supervisors and managers. Not in a negative way, like I would just study. My heart would go out to them. Actually, to be honest with y'all, like I saw their workload. I'm like, man, Miss Sally be here at 4:30 in the morning and none of our shifts start till 8. You know, that type of respect. Or Mr. David stays 2 hours later than us. Like these thoughts would go through my head even after I'm leaving. For some reason, I got this deep concern for Mr. David back here who's working 2 hours later all the time, right? Like, then my own, you know, where I come from, my mother was a hardworking lady, you know, and it was bittersweet because I'm one of the children. No child wants to see their parent just work, right? Because it's like taking the time from them being with them. So I learned many different levels of business, different ways is the first thing. And I did have to begin to look at that cup half full instead of half empty, being a business major going into a pandemic, right? Because there were periods, and I talked about that, like I was literally on academic probation the whole year of 2020, and it made me angry. Academic probation might look like your literal ability to be, you know, qualified for school loans at this time is like denied. They're on hold. They're literally on hold because one school has you on probation, either for a grade or a class you flunked out of because of something you were going through outside of school. Been through that. So these were even more reasons I could have looked at the glass half empty and just say, you know what, I quit. I don't want to know anything about business. I don't want to go to school anymore altogether. But thankfully, I've been hanging in there. So I had to like get things straight with that particular school. And as soon as 2021 came, I came in running. Like I'm calling, hey, now this been a year academic probation. I'm ready to come back because this is holding back the time I could have been through with this degree. Stuff like that. Different type of obstacles for different people. But long story short on this side, because I'm just giving y'all the background. Like it's definitely a story to be told, but I ended up, you know, telling myself like I'm not gonna stop at one school, and most schools, their academic regulations are going to be pretty similar. You have to keep it at a certain GPA, or attendance has to look a certain way. You could have did flying colors through a whole year. In one semester, you had some things going on. You talking to your counselor, your school counselor about it. Your academic, you're talking to your professors. And what I learned, and want to tell you guys out there too that may be disencouraged from school from point to point during the pandemic, is, you know, it's not nothing new, but just keep this in mind because it keeps you from spending unnecessary school money at a point in your life where you have more challenges. Like it literally can't be a priority. You know what I mean? Your classes can't be a priority at certain periods in your life, so just don't go ahead and re-enroll until you're ready, type of deal. Also, it's going to look better for you to go ahead and withdraw when you see that something has come up, a major family emergency or whatever is going on, something has come up. Go ahead and withdraw, because what that does is it just, you know, instead of looking at academic probation like I went through, it's just going to show that you withdrew. So first of all, you don't owe money, you're not pending. You know, ain't nobody got your loans on hold. You had to withdraw and, maybe tell the school, hey, I'll come back next fall, or I'll come back, next quarter, or whatever that would have looked like. So anyways, I didn't have that knowledge at the time. And I did go through things like having to wait out a whole school year. I mean, and this is just my story. This was in 2020 at the very start of the pandemic. I had to sit there. So you know what I did? I was a business student, right? I told y'all that. Who is waiting on the next year so I can be eligible to come back. And I am back in. I'm excited for myself. I'm back in. But what I did, and it's just the funniest story, is, the pandemic was affecting us all different ways. And I found myself literally in it. And I'm not talking about Crown Content Publications here, because we were started in 2019, as said in, officially started, as said in previous segments, in 2019. But I found myself saying, okay, well, since I have this free time now, I'm definitely have more free time to work, but all these regulations and mandates were coming up, like all this distraction, y'all, and all I wanted to do was finish my business degree. But finish obtaining it. So I was like, okay, I'm finna go back to work, just make a lot of money or whatever. But in the strangest way, I had began gaining more knowledge once again, just being a business student and being an individual in society at the time, studying some things when it came to fundraising for my business, Crown Content Publications. And I saw how people, and let me tell y'all, it was the funniest story. Like, I would go to the store, I'll never forget, it was a lady on aisle 8 at a Family Dollar, and she had the cutest Mickey Mouse mask on, okay? And I said, ma'am, she wasn't the first one, but she reminds me because it was so cute. And at this time, we were at home trying to sew and create masks and watching YouTube to do it. So I didn't think nothing of it, but I just thought this is interesting. We have to wear masks to enter businesses now, like in public, okay? That's when all of this was going on. And so we were like sewing them and trying to, it was awful. It got to the point I didn't even take my kids nowhere, like, unless it was absolutely necessary, doctor appointment or something like that. Like, y'all are going to stay here when I need to do store trips and do these trips or do whatever I got to do. Y'all are going to stay at home with my family at the time while I go run these errands. So I saw this lady with the cute Mickey Mouse mask on, and I said, ma'am, that is so cute. Like, look at mine. It's flimsy. I had to put it together, and she laughed. I said, where did you get that mask? This is what they would tell me, y'all. Not just that lady, but anybody I would ask. It's like, at the beginning of this, you were the bombdiggity.com. If you had a Mickey Mouse, a Tweety, something different like that, you were like popping. To me, you were, because I'm like, man, where did I get one of those? Y'all know what their response was? I got it online. Like, online is not really an answer. I just got put on academic probation. It's a lot going on. Why can't you just tell me the website where I can find one? Now, I'm sure today everybody knows where they can, order a mask and all this good stuff. But I said I'm not gonna ask another person with a cute mask where they got it from. I'm going to go do some research. So I went and did some research and found more than I bargained for, right? And I didn't tell anybody. I said, if I'm on academic probation and I still got to make money, but things are being closed down, plus vaccines wasn't even a thing yet. Like, they were still trying to come up with a vaccine, so it was just like mass mandates everywhere. And I'm like, how can I, like, what I'm trying to tell you, I was a business strategist and didn't know it. A marketing strategist and didn't know it. I'm just a student on academic probation at the time. This is 2020. This is 2022. So yes, guys, I finally graduate soon, and it is crazy. But let me finish, because graduation is that. I'm telling you about the period where I had to decide is staying in business school for me. Like, look what was going on. I mean, I was finna give up on the concept of business altogether when, strangely, I come across looking for just cute masks for myself. And because I'm not lying to y'all, I could not sew before, before I wanted a cute mask so far. But, different things inspire you to learn to do different things. Because you'll hear later on in the story how I ended up finding out making them myself was going to save me more money than hiring people to make them, or because y'all are about to hear how I had learned to begin to invest in fabric, invest in thread, invest in needles, and make masks to actually sell, which helped me to essentially be able to pay off car notes, helped me do what I needed to do to take care of my kids, helped me to pay the people I was staying with. It was crazy. And all during this time, I'm going through academic probation period where I have to, it's against my will almost, like I have to sit outside of any school because this one school had my loans on hold, okay? So I finally ended up finding this website at the time, which, like I say, this was another time. Everybody knows where they can go get a mask now. But I found it, and it was like, the more quantity of them you bought, and with me having 3 kids, I was gonna need a lot of masks anyway if we can't go nowhere without them. So I was like, well, I'm gonna order a bundle of these, but I just didn't expect for them to be the kind of masks, N95s were in style. They were what we were being told was gonna be the best deal, but as far as medically and health wise, so I found some of those. I found all kind of masks. And I found masks that, me being a millennial, I'm talking about that they were nice. The fabric, all that. So I ordered them from this site, and then I was that one in the store now. I went to the store like 2 weeks later, and somebody said, that is so cute. Trust me, I was better than the Mickey Mouse mask that the lady didn't want to tell me about. So she said, that is just cute. Where can I? And I decided I wasn't going to be like the people who didn't want to tell me where they got it. I was like them in a way because I didn't tell them where I got it. And I said, well, what if I told you could purchase it from me? I got another one. I got 5 more of them. And I got them in different colors. And she said, yeah, like, do you have them right now? So it was a reaction I didn't expect. And that was the beginning of me. I was trying to just fundraise, find ways to, you know what I'm saying? Make money to invest in Crown Content publications at the time, even in 2020. But it ended up being face masks, y'all. That's my main point. Face masks, face fabrics. And so I got to meet a lot of great people, even nurses, guys. They had to wear these at work, like doctors, all kind of people. You had students. That was going to be a big target audience for me as far as the marketing then. But so I guess, long story short, 2020 went by so much faster for me because I got more focused and proactive on something else. I did complete a book publication in 2020 titled Black Blood that you guys can find on Amazon. It's a poetry book, and this was also a time of civil unrest in our country at the time because there was just unfortunately a lot of like civilian owned police killings and crazy stuff going on, and predominantly in the black community. So it was a very hard time for a lot of us emotionally. Like, you talk about pain and struggle, we all went through that in 2020. Okay, I'm just giving my little story and what it looked like. Yeah, I did not expect, because that one lady told people where she got it, and then I ended up having to place more orders on that website I found, and place more orders, so I could always keep a stock. How did I get this stock? And it was crazy. I couldn't even call the school and tell them what we've been learning. I've been actually putting to action, and I think I may have accidentally started a business. Okay. And then over time, between 2020 and 2021, I slowly saw other people begin to not only sell masks too, but stores were actually beginning to look for vendors that sold them so they could sell them. So it probably could have even went further. That ended up, I can't say not working out, but right when I got back in school, I ended up getting a very good job at the airport. Just like a lot of different stuff that kind of led me away from it, because it was times at the airport even I wanted to just bring my mask to work because you had to wear them to fly. But see, it's levels to things. You can't come to work selling your business at work, okay? But it never hurt me to keep cards on me and things like that when I would see, because at my job we gave a specific type of mask to and they were free to passengers that were coming to fly or things like that. But in general, you had to have it on to even come in the airport. So it was crazy. To me, I was just like passing up potential customers because I could only give them the mask that the airport offered them. Okay, but sometimes you spark up a conversation with an airport customer, and they're like, well, you got a card? I might tell them, follow me on IG or something. And that's how they could get connected with my mask, because, it didn't matter, airport or not, most places were requiring you to wear them. So that whole experience, you're like, what do masks have to do with why you stayed in school for business? I think y'all are putting the connections together. Things like, keeping a receipt book, keeping a log of all the customers, keeping a log of all of the. Oh, I kept a receipt book, and like I say, it was just crazy because I was on academic probation at this time, but I was a whole student studying business. So I'm just a year behind. I'm looking at about 9 more months, and I'm through. Okay, yay. Okay, having to switch schools, go through all of this, man. But I began to look at the world around me. You know, I said it won't hurt me. No matter what businesses go out of business, what happens to the economy, it can always benefit me somehow to gain an education, gain more knowledge about the world of business. Because if we look at the early foundation of our country, founding fathers even started businesses pretty much right after they got here, okay? Like, business has always been important, whether it was the Boston Tea Party, not nicotine, but tobacco fields and all this different stuff. People caught on quick. Just know that business has always been a part of society, because I had to look at that as a student. That's not something we just sit and kind of go over, like, let's look at the history of business around the world. There may be business programs that do cover that type of information for students, but you know, we do study maybe things like sociology, the study of culture and things like this. You know, because if you're not able to, you know, communicate with different walks of life, get along with them and things like this, you might not be in business long. You notice that different types of people come to Walmart and shop. Okay. Walmart is not just biased or racist to a specific race of people, and this has helped them very much grow in business. So I do think that's important, but I just wanted to kind of stress that part, like seeing businesses fall apart while I was a business student. It wasn't easy, because I couldn't help but ask myself on the inside, well, what are they doing or not doing? So I wasn't reading articles like everybody else to just keep up with the pandemic. I was mainly reading the articles about businesses that were greatly affected, because, you know, I might have had a whole dream to let me touch back on that. Like, a lot of you guys have become managers and supervisors without a business degree, and that is beautiful. Okay. That just shows your skill set, your ability to work with people, to lead a group of people, and all of that. So I'm not taking from it, but I'm talking about learning the real background of like economics and business and statistics and all of this type of stuff, and business strategies that have kept businesses afloat and in demand over sometimes whole centuries. Okay. That's what I study, okay? And yes, accounting and all this cool stuff is fun, and learning that too, but I was just asking myself, as an individual, as a student, through the effects of a pandemic, how is this going to help people, right? Like, am I in the right degree field here? And it was a real question, because like I said, financial aid money is tied into stuff like this, and you know, going to school isn't easy. You're dedicating yourself, your time, your energy to a whole cause of study of something. So nobody wants to do that and, you know, feel like it's for nothing, or they can't find a job when they finish. So anyways, I looked at the glass half full. Like, man, whether I'm in school for business or not, I have to be destined to be some type of leader, because when I first got in school, after high school, it was for substance abuse counseling, still some type of leadership, okay? And when I saw what I was able to do with, I mean, to some people, they probably only hear the money part. Well, it must have been a lucrative business. You were selling masks. That's not what I was looking at. I was looking at my ability to start a project, follow through with a project. And I'm talking about with no planning. It started with a lady telling me my mask was cute after I finally found a website that, you know, sold ones I liked. That one deal, that one transaction and her buying them from me led to me studying more things about business. Okay, I can invest in fabrics. I ended up meeting fashion designers that had been sewing clothes before a pandemic, right? These were the type of people that might have been able to help me put together masks to sell. That way I didn't have to order them from a website, because if y'all don't remember, shipping and stuff was backed up for a long time in the year 2020. Okay, so even ordering them and trying to fill orders for people and stuff like that didn't go well. Like, it was different things I got to experience. And I wasn't even, I wasn't done with school. I said, I already have a business, Crown Content Publications. I'm trying to take the money I make from the mass and keep doing what I've been doing with my business, okay? But with the books and helping authors and things, and trying to build a publishing house company, okay? And it was so crazy because, yes, I was learning so much. Okay, I have the type of ability and skill to start projects and follow through with them and actually see results. Business strategies, okay? I have the ability to, handle the finances of a business, put in the money where it needed to go on the cost to preparing, constructing these masks. If I had to pay $5 a mask to have it sold, what am I about to turn around and sell it for to make sure I have a profit? What are the numbers looking like every month? Just in the so yeah, when 2021 came, and I'm talking all kind of orders, guys. Like, you had sorority groups, cheerleading teams, football teams, like the orders, and the possibility with something like that was so great, and it helped me see the upside, I guess, if there was any, which there weren't many upsides to a pandemic, but it helped me see that being a business student was the right thing for me, because if I wanted to start, this is my point, guys, if I wanted to start a business selling lotion today, I have the essentials, the experience, the outside of knowing how to put the right recipe together to make a lotion. Outside of that, the business side of keeping a business like that running, a shoe business, right? Towels, it could be towels, earrings, right? Pens, a whole pen business. See, the people that make the big pens, they've been here many, many years. See, I didn't understand how me staying in school for business was going to help me through a pandemic. The people that create Clorox wipies and bleach that y'all was running to buy, do y'all know how much money those people made? This is the way my mind like calculates now. This is how it thinks and runs. Like, I said, okay, I'm in school for business. To me, it's not about I was looking at it half empty at first, and I had to stop that. It's not about whether the economy was falling or what. The guy that created Louis Vuitton, guys, that came up with this idea and founded this company, he was going through some things. It was like what you might want to call a Great Depression time era then. Seriously, that was one of the most inspirational, motivational stories I saw as a business student. I think there might be a movie on his life now, I'm not sure, but I know it's the House of Gucci movie, but I'm trying to think. If y'all don't have that yet out there, y'all need to do a movie on the Louis Vuitton guy, because I don't think people knew he was homely. Just a lot of stuff that he went through his childhood and all of this, and he ends up, Louis Vuitton is big to this day, okay? That's all I'm going to say. But if I had never started thinking like half full instead of half empty with the knowledge I was obtaining about business, I was going to be in trouble. I was going to transfer majors, switch majors, and probably have to go through school all over again outside of the credits I had already obtained, and really go a different course in life, which is fine too. But I decided, you know what, we've already invested this much money into this business degree, let me not put too much on it. It was a lot of things I had to weigh as far as options when it came to that, okay? And I want you guys to do the same thing. Don't just get to switching majors because it's a pandemic. If you were an art student, if you were going to chef culinary school, whatever it was, and school is still a possibility for you even online out here today, I don't know, Crown Content Publications encourages you to keep going and follow through with that, because that's what it looked like for me, and still going through outside challenges outside of school. This is why I got put on academic probation in the first place. And I did feel unheard at certain periods, even though these academic counselors and all of this is supposed to be there. They too were going through their struggles, because of the pandemic, right? Just an overload of work and students and what they need and what they're struggling with. So I guess I won't take it personal, but it was like, hey, I kind of forewarned you guys. Why didn't somebody tell me just to withdraw so I wouldn't be having to sit out here on academic probation and stuff, putting my plans and goals in life behind. That was discouraging at the time. But like I said, it made 2020 year not just go by faster for me, but kind of more of an enjoyable. I felt like I was helping society somehow. So not just being a business major and somehow starting a mass service for people, mass selling service for people. It made me feel like I was helping society, right? Because I knew that from what we were told, this lessens the spread of just germs and virus in the air when people have these on their faces. What if we're going to have to wear them just like we wear clothes that help us express ourselves? I felt like masks were, and this is how I would say it when I'm selling them. Like, pick this one right here. Don't you got to wear your court suits to your job every day? You got to wear your scrubs to work. This one right here might be cute. You might need one for every color. This helped me make sales, which I also learned were called business pitches or marketing techniques, okay? With us, it wasn't like I could afford a TV commercial. As new as the masks were, I didn't have a big presence on TikTok and stuff like that. I still don't, but we're actually, Crown Content Publications is brand new to TikTok, but I be thinking sometimes like, man, had I been really more on Instagram and Facebook the way I wanted to be, I had to literally, that side wasn't easy too. I had to watch. And they say that more money, more problems, and I was having, like, to me, a mental breakthrough about something, a knowledgeable breakthrough about something. It wasn't about the money. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Of course, none of us can eat, none of us can survive, none of us can get by, none of us can get the connections we have without it. So it wasn't about that to me. It was like the whole time this was my way of thinking. If I can do this with face fabrics, I can do this with anything. Chapsticks, pens. What was I telling y'all about big? Y'all know how long big pens have been in business? You know why? So many people use ink pens. So many people use ink pens around the world, and I'm sitting here asking myself whether business or not was right for me. I hope this story is inspirational for anybody out there, right? So many people, because I think it's just the business in me now, but like, who thinks about that? The people who make different brands, ladies, of what we call bras and panties, lingerie, these are businesses and they knew, whether it's a pandemic or not, you guys are going to buy lingerie, you guys are going to buy panties, you guys are going to buy pens, right? So that's what, it just changed my whole mental connection of thinking. And then now, thankfully, it's 2022. And there's no way I went through all I went through for my business and not be here in 2022 with more services to offer customers and interested clients, right? We went from publication services and content writing services for you guys out there to business consultations. I don't toot my own horn. I get on here to give my story and give these, knowledge check segments when it comes to business, because I want to help people with their businesses. And a lot of you guys were out there thinking, how could she hand me business consultation? Y'all didn't know my story. If I could do that with face fabrics, with just me, it did get to the level where I thought I was going to have to, like I say, it could have grew. People are still buying masks out here today, whether they are mandated or not. People keep masks. So like, if that's just something I wanted to stay into, it's something that I could have stayed into. But I saw further than it. I started thinking bigger. I don't know what's bigger than masks during the pandemic. I don't know yet. My taste in business has even changed. Like, if I could, I'd start me a wine refinery where we cook up wine, however they do it, and produce wine, and I would start my own line of wine. The closest I got to it was like you can design your own bottles, but it's still the wine of another company. You can design the labels, the bottles. It's some ideas out here, right? I'm not going to tell y'all everything. That's why these first consultations are free. And our consultations vary, okay? A shoe polisher business consultation is not going to look like a remodeler's consultation. That remodeler might say, yeah, man, I need some help on the advertising side, or, this is what I've been going through. What can I do to get more website traffic, or what can I do? Who do you advise people? Yelp or Google Ads? Like, these are the type of questions I want you guys to know. I like to give advice about. And I had to learn, not just as a business student, but through experience. And it's I felt alone at the time because it's not everybody's story. But, I don't know. When I read the guy that started the Louis Vuitton brand, it was just him. Now he got people. You think this man was sitting and crying over because there's so many fake Louis Vuitton bags out there, right? You think he sat and cried about the people who begin to imitate the original, the top dog? He knows people out here. That's why if you are caught selling fake merchandise of somebody's original work, it is what it is, y'all. It's like a federal crime. You can't be doing it. The Chinese people know this too. Y'all know it's just a little jokey joke, but they know. That's why when it's advertised on these websites, they don't show it as like the Gucci, right? They're gonna make you think it's just like a kind of something similar, a knockoff, but when you actually receive it, it's that. So I just saw a lot. I saw a lot. Looking at the glass half full instead of half empty. And that's what, on this inspirational segment, like, why I chose to remain a business, not just a student, because I told y'all what I went through with the setback of a academic probation period. What was funny, a lot of the stuff I was putting before my life, my goals, my dreams, my aspirations, a lot of the people I didn't even know I was putting in before, but it's like, okay, you my homeboy, right? Are you helping with my homework tonight? You my homegirl, right? Can you help me with this paper right here so I don't end up on academic probation? You my best friend, right? Can you help me keep my Wi-Fi and lights on so I can do what I need to do, not just as a mother but as a student till I finish? When you begin to like ask those type of questions to people, they think you're being funny. But when I began to make more money than I expected off of selling masks, they was the first ones in your face. But see, they didn't understand when you sat there and said, I don't know why, but I this is my dream. I want to be a business student. Nobody sees the glass half full every day like you do. They don't see that you're going to get to the level in your business degree where you feel like you're catching on to the concept of business. You're catching on to the concept of marketing strategies. I know it's just a class, but you're catching on to how you can use this in your everyday life. Not only to start, and then that's crazy. I saw that I was in school for business at a time that this was happening again in society. More people were becoming entrepreneurs and freelancers. More people were deciding to start their own businesses. For crying out loud, it was a whole great resignation going on too. I had to live through this and survive through this. Imagine being at your job and having more of a workload because people are calling in and they're saying they have COVID today. And sometimes they really did, sometimes they really didn't. I'm just saying I got to live and survive these type of scenarios. And every time I went back to work and I'm having to resign or I'm having to be let go over, I'm not gonna say stupid things, but I feel like they're stupid. When you're firing people during a pandemic, when they have to resign because of certain stipulations and rules that they can't meet, they can't keep up with because it's a pandemic. You got to know, as a business student and an entrepreneur who once turned face fabrics into a whole, it made everybody smile. They was like, man, I know the man she got, they good fabric, they quality. I can rewash them. I can get my baby name printed on it. I can get my business name on it. These are the type of things we were doing. And it just started from me asking a lady where she got hers. And I really wanted to know, and I actually went through that where I was hurt. I was hurt like, ma'am, you can't tell me what website you got it from? This how people was acting. But I didn't understand the whole concept of it. even ended up earning the name Mass Lady. People were saving my number in their phone as Mass Lady. And yes, the segment y'all saw yesterday about how I survived homelessness through a pandemic. Like, boy, y'all don't know my story, but people clicked it. Business consultation, she offers them. Publication services, she offers them. They didn't know me. Y'all don't know me. We're going to get to know the founder of Crown Content Publications. I'm this inspired. So a few masks here I still have. These are not mine. I ordered these recently off of a website or whatever. And this is the type of fabric that you can literally buy. You can literally order. I mean, because I'm not the mask lady no more, y'all, but you can order the fabric, cut it like this. You can cut it like this. Put these through there. You see how they folded it and stitched it right there? And they put this spandex type string. It even lets you tighten the ear part. Man, I fell in love with it when I was doing it. Okay? And I had cards at the time. Y'all see me with this jacket on, but I used to love, I love to express myself through my clothing. I've been like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter, but when I say I had to look at the cup half full instead of half empty during the pandemic just to remain a student in business, which is everybody's right. Everybody got a right to education. They even preached to us in high school, right? Go to college. They didn't know a pandemic was coming in 2020, okay? They didn't know, and the teachers probably would have been a little easier on us. Class of 2010, 2011, 2012 students, okay? 09 and 08 even. They would have been probably, I ain't gonna say a little easier, but probably would have equipped us with just a little more when it came to resources and emotional health, mental health, knowledge, because a lot of people did. They went crazy. I would go crazy too. I had this business for 30 years and it's closed down because I have no customers all of a sudden. I had this restaurant for 40 years and now I can't, restaurants are banned. Not at the time they were. Yeah, if you sold alcohol and all this, or you could only have 10 people in there, this affected people's businesses. So I asked myself, do I want to remain a business student? That's what this segment is about. Is this going to benefit me somehow? I answer my own question, and I ain't mean to. Sparked up a conversation with a lady at a store for her Mickey Mouse mask. I wish I could show y'all some other ones. We had like Roblox, Mickey Mouse, Looney Tunes, fun stuff. Breast cancer awareness mask, all that. So I put the mask down because, I can only do so many endeavors at a time. They were just simply more popular at the time. So it was kind of like a business that sold itself. They were products that sold themselves. Or I never minded telling people where they could go get the fabric, because if you knew how to sew, you could take any fabric you wanted to, even leather. You could take any fabric you wanted to and cut out the fabric. Like I say, it's just investing in what you're willing to invest in to see a profit back out of. When I tell you I love being a business student now, and I love the fact that I'm about to graduate, but this is what my story looked like when it came to asking myself and going through that in my life. You think, well, you're a young single mother. Why would you quit school just because there's a pandemic? Many people did. So they could have more hours at work, to pay their bills and keep up with inflation and what's going on. Now mine was probably work and selling face fabrics. It's crazy. But I knew if I can do that, Give me 50 boxes. Give me a box of 50 lip glosses. They'll be gone by the night. You know why? I was always an entrepreneur. I was always, a great customer sales support a representative, what they call them, retail sales associate in my earlier days. So if you haven't checked out my segment already titled The Power of Growth, it's not necessarily about my story, but that segment is like more for anybody, how essential it is to grow. Let's say I was in school to be a doctor. Y'all know, now when I was little, I didn't tell that. I had another dream. So I started off in substance abuse counseling, studying this, thinking this was what I was going to end up essentially doing, and then went into business. But when I was little, because we all have dreams when we're children, right? I wanted to be a either anesthesiologist, like the people who help get you to sleep and stuff before surgery, or a brain surgeon altogether. I'm gonna tell y'all what discouraged me, because the same thing almost happened with business. What, just me being in school with business and seeing what was going on around me, I was finna tap out. I was like, look at the economy, look at all this is going on. I wasn't really there when it came to how my own knowledge of business could benefit me somehow. Okay? But like I said, a lot of you guys are already either you're managers of somebody else's company, or you're running your own businesses, and you did it without college. Well, Crown Content Publications celebrate you, and I don't mean that in a sarcastic way. We celebrate you so much. We offer business consultations and services for entrepreneurs and freelancers, because we want to see you actually grow. What did I talk about? The segment of the power of growth, right? So yeah, this is what discouraged me from. Don't let this. If it's any young people out here watching this, don't let it discourage you. What I let discourage me from my true dream of becoming an anesthesiologist or a brain doctor. Boy, y'all, I think I was in like 5th or 6th grade when I saw, and it might not be as long now, but back then this probably would have been 02 or the early 2000s. I went and researched something. Yeah, as early as the 4th or 5th grade. This is how bright of a person I always been. It is what it is. But I'm just glad I'm finding somewhat of a path for myself. And people saw that when I was the mass lady, okay? It said I was going to need 16 total years of school. So yeah, it was going to start off with this, and then what is it called? Residency. Same stuff a doctor goes through, but just kind of more steps, more things I was going to have to do as far as studying to get to that level. And as early as 5th or 6th grade, I told myself, oh no. That's just, I ain't going to say, it kind of broke me too a little bit, but that shouldn't have discouraged me. That means if I went to school at 18, you put 16, I'd have been about this age. It's crazy to think about it. I would have been, y'all. I would have just now, I'm just now thinking about this. Instead of being about to graduate business, I would have been about to graduate as a brain doctor or an anesthesiologist. Now, anesthesiologists might not be 16 years. That brain doctor part was, I know I'm not tripping. I got to go back and look that up, because maybe one of my little daughters, I do have one daughter that actually is interested in becoming a doctor. Now, what type of doctor, I don't know. You got foot doctor, hand doctors. I'm kind of teaching her that now. Eye doctors, right? And another one wants to be a vet. Like, she loves animals, okay? So I will do my job as a parent, don't worry guys, to make sure that how long, because my oldest did tell me when I told her what about, look, on average 6 to 8 years, but I have been seeing younger and younger doctors lately, honey. But this is the type of focus and dedication, and I tell her early, the more you study now, you know how much quicker your coursework is done, how much faster you're advancing, because you loved what you entered school for. You were already studying it as a child. You might know the surgical tools already. You might know, like, the more you know, it just takes you further, saves you more time. Oh, well, since I'm on this subject though, let me tell y'all something. When I got through with what I was doing with the mask or whatever, and got back in school, this is something I noticed too. I'm not ahead of my class right now, but I do finish. This is just a fact. I finished my work, and I'm thankful. It's just crazy. Like, my professors, I probably have more subscribers. Like, I'm being a real humble person. My professors don't know about my YouTube channel. Old professors or current ones, they don't know about this, so I don't get on here for that. Like, I'm really serious about my business and my work as an author right now. Okay, but if I did, because I just feel like professors know people, my peers in school know people, so that'll come when the time is right. When it comes to the advocacy for the work I've been putting in out here. But dang it, what was I finna say? Y'all, when I tell y'all, like I said, I'm not top of my class. Actually, I was at a 4.0 until recently. I'm kind of disappointed about that. I'm at a 3.6. And those professors that care, like, come on now, don't start disappointing us. But yeah, they applaud me, and I'm not bragging about it. They don't even know what I've been through the past 2-3 years. But they be like, thank you for staying ahead in your work. I be like, you don't have to thank me for that. I do that because I'm busy with other things. I don't tell them. I don't go into details. Like, look, I write books. I got a podcast. I'm sure they would be highly impressed. But I tell them, look, I stay ahead in my work because, like, I might have other things going. Like, I got kids. I got a weekly dinner, breakfast, and lunch schedule to stick to. I just like to be able to handle the less anxiety for me, the better for everybody. The better. But what I'm not about to do is be on academic probation again. They be like, good girl, that's the right brand. I'm like, man, you don't know why I feel like that, but this is why I feel like that. I'm not going to be on academic probation again. It took everything in me to even find out if business school was right for me. And now that I'm back, I'd rather be ahead in my classes than behind. That's when I get anxiety. If I look like I'm not 2 weeks ahead of the other students, that's what I love about online school too, y'all. Like, regardless of what you're studying, there's like no set pace. There's no set pace. There's no like, you didn't do enough hours or you did. Well, that part is there. You gotta have a certain attendance, but you can study as much as you want, or at least as you want. So my point is, obviously, whatever I learned being out here, becoming a mass lady, and with Crown Content Publications, helping authors, the best business leaders had experience. And yes, I had dark days too. You know what I mean? I even talked about it on my How I Survived Homelessness Through a Pandemic segment. I had dark days and periods, because when you're an entrepreneur, that's what entrepreneur is. It has a lot to do with independence. So it's not, you elevate from the level of asking people for things, number one, just for the hell of it. Like, you have a real goal that you're trying to meet. You have a real season that you're trying to go through so that you can get to the next season. You have real credentials that you've been chasing. You've made real connections with people out here that are praying in secret that you do great things because they saw what you went through, or they saw how ambitious you were, right? So yeah, I wasn't just gonna be out here begging folks to stay in their home, boo boo boo. So when y'all hear me on the How I Survived Homeless segment, talking about the homeless shelters and stuff like that, those were like independent choices, because I don't know, it's like a pride thing when you're an entrepreneur. Like, I'm not finna be out here begging and trying to clean up my name and everything. Like, the professors know who I am. The jobs that I've worked at previously know who I am and what type of service I gave to those companies while I was there, or the mishaps and barriers I was facing that kept me from being able to stay longer with those jobs. So sometimes it was because they were temporary positions. I would do that. Sorry, y'all. Ooh, no. That's crazy, right? Sometimes they would be temporary positions, and I chose to do that. So with temporary positions, you can expect for there to be like a certain period of time that, let me put my microphone back here. Y'all see how determined I am? That wasn't finna stop me because the laptop fell low. Yeah, with temp jobs, you might be guaranteed 60, 30, 90 days on a job, and that was better for me because I knew I had other goals and plans. You know how in an interview they'll be like, how long do you see yourself? These are for permanent positions. How long do you see yourself with the company? That's why I really don't. I mean, temporary jobs, and it's temporary jobs out here. Well, temporary companies. We call them temp agencies where I'm from. They will like, there's temporary companies for construction sites. There's temporary companies for clerical positions, for retail positions, And that's how I had that special position at one point at Adidas. I was very happy. I told you I got a lot of sales and retail experience, but I just saw myself a little bigger, and I'm like, bigger than Adidas? I don't know what it is yet, but I just know I like to help authors. I'm trying to offer these business consultations, and that's going to be my business. That is my business already, and this is why we have went ahead and added business consultation services to our list of services that we offer, not just to authors but to freelancers as well. Trying to get my this segment is just about over anyway. I don't know why my equipment had to fall on me like that. Don't do that to me, equipment. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, but that's an idea for you college students or entry-level entrepreneurs too, because you're going to still need to keep some type of, like I said, I just chose to go the fundraising route where I'm going to sell a certain product or service to get the money I need to invest in the software or equipment I'm going to need. Some of us, we start fundraisers and stuff like this. Come on now, I thought I had got it better. But you can always like work a temporary position. This is how you don't. You can gain experience at the same time. You're gaining experience doing something, but you're also not setting this job up to. Because some of them are temp to perm. But even when permanent positions were offered, if I knew I'm finna go back to school, I'm finna be a full-time student, you knew to tell them to keep you part-time or just find you another temporary position. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to another segment with the Crown Content Publication Services family. We're publishing and marketing do me. You see, I'm human. My equipment just fell everywhere, but I had to finish this segment up for you guys. Don't forget you can check out my website anytime to learn more about our services to assist authors and freelancers. I will also leave the link to my podcast show. This is my YouTube channel. I have a podcast show. And we do like interviewing. As y'all see, I talk a lot, but not so much to say. We interview entrepreneurs, poets, authors, okay? We're trying to help you guys get promotion in 2022, and all of our promotional interview segments on the podcast at this time and for the year 2022 are absolutely free. So y'all want to take advantage of that. I've been doing the marketing side on my part, just making people aware that this podcast show is a show. It's a thing now, and we're just gaining more listeners as the day, doing what we can on our part to make sure you guys' promotions are not in vain. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe, and until next time.